Gather on, boys and girls. I was wondering, can we read together The Ugly Duckling? And I've got a super surprise. Why don't we read The Ugly Duckling in English and in Spanish? That's right. So, how do we say The Ugly Duckling in Spanish? El means the, patito means duckling, and feo means ugly. I know what you're thinking. It doesn't follow the same pattern in English as in Spanish. For example, patito is the last word over here meaning duckling, and feo is the middle word over here meaning ugly. Now, I don't want you calling your friends those words. They're not very nice, as we'll learn in this story. Adaptation by Merce Escardo and illustrated by Max. Let's turn the page. Now, I want you to remember, I don't speak Spanish, but I'm learning like you are. So if I say a word funny, just give me some grace because we're all learning. Over here, what do we have? Beautiful sunny day it looks like. And in the grassy area behind a building, there's a nest, right? What do we see in the nest? Do we see some eggs hatching? I see some ducklings coming out of their eggs. And the mama is right there watching. Let's begin. This top part is in English. And this bottom part is in Spanish or Español. Let's begin. It was summer. The wheat was golden and the oats were green. A duck was sitting on her nest. She was very tired. She had been waiting for a long time for her eggs to hatch. Finally, the eggs started to crack open. "Quack, quack," said the mother duck to her ducklings. "Quack, quack," answered the ducklings, and amazed they added, "What a big world!" This was the first time they were able to see the big world. Before, they were in tiny worlds inside their eggs. Let's read it in Spanish now. Era verano. El trigo estaba dorado y la avena verde. Verde is how you say the color green in Spanish. Una pata estaba sentada sobre su nido. Se sentía muy cansada. Hacía tanto que estaba incubando. Finalmente, los huevos empezaron a abrirse. That means to open, abrirse. Cuac, cuac, desea la pata a sus patitos. Cuac, cuac, respondían ellos y añadían maravillados. ¡Qué grande es el mundo! Let's turn the page. Wow, what do we have here? We have some hatched ducklings and mommy duckling swimming in the lake. How many ducklings do we see? Let's begin to count. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good job. What else can you tell me about this picture? Specifically, what else can you tell me about these ducklings? Does one of them look different than the others? What's different about him? He's swimming with no problem, so he is a great swimmer, and the other ones are just learning. But they're the same age, so he's just naturally good at this. Have you ever been naturally good at something? I'm sure you are and have been if you think about it. But not only is he not having a hard time swimming, he's also a different color than the rest of them, right? He's just a little unique. Let's begin. When the mother duck got up, she discovered that one of the eggs hadn't hatched yet. It looked different from the rest. "Maybe it's a turkey egg," said an old arrogant goose. Arrogant meaning she thinks she's better than everybody. I'm sure you've met one or two of those people who think they're better than everybody. And what do we do with those people? We try to remember to be very nice to them because they haven't learned yet that everyone is equal and everyone is worthy of being loved and being nice too. If it isn't, it won't swim. I wouldn't keep it if I were you. But the mother duck thought, I've been waiting for such a long time that I don't mind waiting a little longer. Finally, the last egg cracked open. The duckling popped his head out and said, "Quack, quack." "Oh dear," cried the mother duck. "What an ugly duckling!" But when she took her ducklings to the lake, she noticed that the ugly duckling was the most graceful swimmer of all. Hmm, ugly, but a really good swimmer. Let's read the same thing in Spanish now. Al levantarse, la pata descubrió que un huevo todavía no se había roto. Era un huevo diferente a los demás. Será un huevo de pavo, dijo la oca más vieja del corral con aire de superioridad. It's not an easy word to read. Si es así, no nadara. Yo en tu lugar no lo incubaría. La pata pensó, ya esperé mucho. No me importa esperar un poco más. Por fin, el último patito asomó la cabeza y dijo, cuac, cuac. Oh, no, qué feo es, dijo al verlo la pata sin poder contenerse. Cuando la pata llevó a todos sus patitos al lago, se dio cuenta de que el patito feo era el que nadaba con más gracia. Oh, what's happening here? It looks like a big separation, a big gap between this duck and those farm animals. And it looks like he's even sad. Oh, let's look at the faces of these animals. They look mean, don't they? Could they be making the duckling feel bad? What animals do we see here? We see chicken, we see some hen chickens and a rooster chicken. What's this animal? It's a pig. What sound does a pig make? Honk, honk. Like that? Is that a bull and a cow? And there goes his brothers and sister ducklings. Quack, quack. But even they have a mean face towards the duckling. This is the mama duck, and this big old thing that also looks like a duck is a goose, which are bigger than ducks. When they returned from the lake, the mother duck proudly took her ducklings around the farm to show them off. Has your mom and dad ever introduced you to their friends, saying, "This is my son, and this is my daughter"? Well, that's what the mama duckling was doing with her baby duck. This was the mama duck, and she was showing the baby ducklings to her farm friends. But all the animals frowned when they saw the last duckling. "Oh, big and ugly," said the chickens, pecking at him. "He's not pretty like the other ducklings," said the pig. "We won't stand having him around," said the goat. The ugly duckling was so sad. He decided to run away. It's really sad when you don't feel like your home is your home, but it's even more sad when you decide to run away. Let's read this in Spanish now. Remember, the bottom line is Spanish, the top part is English. Okay. La pata se dirigió orgullosa al corral para presentar sus patitos a los otros animales, pero todos rechazaron al último patito. ¡Qué grande y feo es!, decían las gallinas mientras lo picoteaban. Él no es lindo como los otros patitos, dijo el cerdo. Cerdo means pig in Spanish. In Spanish, because we're learning Spanish today. Yo no quiero que se quede con nosotros, dijo la cabra. El patito feo estaba tan triste que decidió escaparse. Triste means sad in Spanish, and he certainly was because these farm animals were calling him mean names that hurt his feelings. All right, what do we see over here in this picture? Oh, looks like this duck is in the water, and this one fell into the water. What's going on here? He left and he escaped to this lake. Before long, the duckling reached a large pond where some geese were resting on their long journey south. Geese are bigger than ducks. Come with us, they said, laughing. You look so ugly that our friends will laugh when they see you. Suddenly, a shot rang out, bang, bang, and one of the geese fell dead into the water. Is that what happened? That's pretty scary. Oh my goodness, this story is taking a really creepy turn, huh? The air was filled with the noise of barking dogs. So, some people hunt these beautiful creatures, and that's what happened right there. Let's read it in Spanish. Al poco tiempo, el patito llegó a un gran estanque en el que unos patos descansaban de su largo viaje al sur. Sur is how you say south in Spanish. Descansaban means to rest in Spanish. Ven con nosotros, le decían burlandos. Eres tan feo que nuestros amigos se morirán de risa al verte. En ese precioso momento se oyó un pum, pum, y uno de los gansos cayó muerto a la agua. El aire se llenó con el ruido que hacían los perros al ladrar. Perros is how you say dogs. Let's see here. One of those dogs are right there. And he found our friend, the ugly duckling. I hope our friend stays safe. The ugly duckling hid in the reeds. These must be reeds. The ugly duckling hid in the reeds and covered his head with his wings. Suddenly, a huge dog appeared with its tongue hanging out. The dog looked at the duckling with curiosity, then left without even touching him. The duckling was both relieved and sad. I'm so ugly, not even the dog dares to bite me, he thought. That's interesting. Let's read that in Spanish. El patito feo, escondido entre los juncos y las cañas, se tapaba la cabeza con las alitas. De repente apareció un perro enorme con la lengua afuera. Lengua is how you say tongue in Spanish. Afuera is how you say outside. Afuera. Miró al patito feo con curiosidad y se fue sin tocarlo. El patito se sintió triste y aliviado al mismo tiempo. Aliviado means relieved. Soy tan feo que ni el perro se atreve a morderme. Pensó, he thought. What are we looking at here? Finally, we have a new animal introduced to the story. Is that a cat? And a chicken? And a woman wise in age? And the wind is blowing, it looks like, right? That night, a strong wind began to blow. Looking for shelter, which means somewhere safe inside, the ugly duckling saw a farmhouse. The lady of the farm let him stay, thinking he was a duck that would lay eggs. But this type of duck doesn't lay eggs. Her hen and cat told the duckling that they lived very well at the farm. Lay some eggs, said the cat, and you can live well too. But the duckling missed swimming and diving into the water. He tried to explain why he was returning to the pond, but the others didn't understand. Esa noche se levantó un viento muy fuerte. Fuerte means strong in Spanish. El patito feo comenzó a caminar, to walk, en busca de abrigo y vio una cabaña. La mujer de la casa pensó que era una pata que podría huevos y dijo que se quedara. Una gallina y un gato le contaron al patito lo bien que se estaba allí. Si pones huevos, tú también podrás tener una buena vida, le dijo el gato. Pero el patito echaba de menos nadar y zambullirse en el agua. Trata de explicar por qué iba a volver al estanque, pero nadie entendió. But the others didn't understand. Oh my, still a blustery day. But look, our ugly duckling friend is seeing something amazing in the sky. These are some swans flying high above. So far, the ugly duckling only knew how to swim and to walk. But did he know how to fly? Hmm. Each day it was a little cooler, and each day there were fewer leaves on the trees. Actually, they're right. Look at that. Looks like fall is turning into winter. One evening, a flock of beautiful birds passed by. The birds had long necks and an unusual call. The ugly duckling watched them stretch their beautiful wings as they flew toward warmer lands. Looks like our friends here were flying south for the winter because the north of where they live got too cold. The ugly duckling longed to go with them. Let's read in Spanish now. Cada día, every day, cada día era un poco más frío y cada día había menos hojas en los árboles. Una tarde pasó una bandada de hermosos pájaros. Tenían el cuello largo y lanzaban unos gritos peculiares. Peculiar. El patito feo miraba cómo extendían las alas en su ruta hacia tierras más cálidas. El patito feo sintió un deseo inmenso de ir con ellos. Well, I said if my Spanish is not too good, we're all learning. Oh my, what do we have here? El duckling, el patito feo, the ugly duckling, seems like he's in this freezing water and there's just a little bit left before the whole lake is frozen over. And more snow is falling. Does he look warm or does he look cold? Have you ever been somewhere where you wished you brought your sweater? That was me today earlier. And I was freezing. Let's begin here. The days got shorter still. That means winter is creeping up. When the sun is less, there's less sunlight because of the way that the earth rotates. We're away from the sun. That makes seasons. And in that time, with days shorter, that's closer to the season of winter. Soon, the ugly duckling's world was an icy white. It was so cold that the ugly duckling had to swim in circles in the pond, paddling constantly so the water wouldn't freeze around him. Each day, the hole he swam in got smaller and smaller. Finally, the duckling was so tired and had so little room in the ice that he could barely move. Poor ugly duckling. Now let's remember, he lived on a farm that was nice and warm, but he left because people were hurting his feelings. Or I should say, he let the feelings of others hurt how he felt about himself and make him sad. So he went from a warm place with lots of his brothers and sisters running around to this chilly, icy place. But at least here, no one was calling him mean names. Los días se hicieron aún más cortos. El mundo del patito se volvió blanco nieve. Hacía tanto frío que el patito feo tenía que nadar dando vueltas y vueltas en el estanque, moviendo sin cesar las patas para que el agua no se congelara. Cada día, el agujero en que nadaba era más y más pequeño. Finalmente, llegó un punto que el patito estaba tan cansado y tenía tan poco espacio que casi no podía moverse. Pobre patito feo. Poor ugly duckling. Oh, what's he doing here? Making a mess. Did he run in the house and make a mess? Uh-oh, did somebody slip? That's what I see. Luckily, a passing farmer broke the ice. What a safe haven he's come across with this farmer helping him out. Luckily, a passing farmer broke the ice and carried the duckling home. The duckling soon felt better, and the farmer's children wanted to play with him. But their attention scared the duckling, and while trying to get away, he stepped into a milk pan. Then he fell into a tub of butter, and after that, into a sack of flour. What a ruckus, shouted the farmer's wife. She joined the children in trying to catch him, and in the confusion, the duckling escaped and returned to the ice and the cold. He was just in a safe spot, but because he got scared, he ran back to the freezing weather. Let's read it in Spanish now. Por suerte, that means for luck, meaning luckily, por suerte, un campesino que pasaba por allí rompió el hielo, ice, y se llevó el patito a casa. El patito se reanimó y los niños quisieron jugar con él. Pero el patito se asustó y, tratando de escapar, se metió dentro de un cántaro de leche. Leche is how you say milk. Luego se cayó dentro de un barril de mantequilla y después en una bolsa de harina. ¡Qué alboroto! Gritó la mujer del campesino. Todos trataban de atrapar el patito que, aprovechando la confusión, logró huir y volvió al frío y al hielo. Ooh la la, what a fancy scene we have here. It's not so much snow anymore, right? Actually, I don't see any snow at all. And I see 3 beautiful swans. These are cattails. Have you ever seen these? They're pretty fun to play with, but make sure you don't go into the lake unless there's an adult around who knows that you're reaching for a cattail. And that's our friend, the ugly duckling. Hi! After a very long winter, spring finally came. The flowers were in bloom and the air was filled with hope. The duckling flapped his wings and felt them much stronger. At the pond, 3 magnificent birds swam toward him and greeted him. The duckling decided to swim toward them as well. He was afraid that they might harm him, but he also hoped that finally he might have some friends. Friends are a lovely thing. Friends who love you for you and not for your toys, but for who you are. Luego de un largo invierno, finalmente llegó la primavera. Todo florecía y el aire estaba lleno de esperanzas. El patito batía las alas y las sentía más fuertes que antes. En el estanque, 3 magníficos pájaros se acercaron nadando a saludarlo. El patito decidió nadar hacia ellos. Tenía miedo de que volvieran a maltratarlo, pero también deseaba tener por fin amigos. Amigos. Adios, amigo. Have you ever heard someone say that? Amigos means friends. Adios, amigo. Hmm? What's this? Is that a reflection in the water? He almost looks like them. He's surprised, too. As the duckling entered the pond, he was very surprised by his reflection. He was no longer an ugly duckling, gray and odd looking. He was a beautiful swan. The three swans caressed the duckling, and he remembered how miserable he felt when he was laughed at because of his ugliness. He couldn't understand how the change happened. All he knew was that he never could have dreamed of being so happy when he was an ugly duckling. In other words, his life got better with time. He just had to be patient and let the process happen. Let life carry on, and eventually bad moments get better. Let's read it in Spanish now. Cuando se acercó al agua, el patito se sorprendió al ver su imagen reflejada. Reflecting. Ya no era un patito feo, gris y desgarbado. Era un hermoso cisne. Los tres cisnes comenzaron a acariciarlo y el patito recordó que infeliz se había sentido cuando se burlaban de él por su fealdad. Nunca puedo comprender qué había pasado. Lo que sí sabía es que nunca había soñado con ser tan feliz cuando era un patito feo. And that's the end of this book in English and Spanish. What did we learn? We learned that in time things get better, that it's not nice to make fun of people for being a little bit different, but that if we're patient with ourselves, no matter what, things always get better. We just have to give things a chance. This is The Ugly Duckling. Thank you for reading it with me. Next time, we have another adventure lined up, so stay tuned for more.